By the time they realized what I was, it was already too late. It started with a glance, not from my daughter, not from the boy, from my wife. She looked across the garden, past the cake and string lights, past the teenage chaos and rented laughter, straight at me. And then she smiled. A private smile. The kind that doesn't invite you in. The kind that lets you know you're already too late. I was mid-conversation with her father when I saw the boy, the police chief's son, drop something in my daughter's soda. It was casual, fast, practiced. He laughed a little too loud afterward, and my daughter smiled without understanding. My wife didn't react. She saw it, turned to her friend, and said, clear enough for me to hear, she'll learn to keep quiet like I did at her age. She clinked her glass. They laughed. I didn't. I walked through the crowd like it wasn't mine, took the glass from my daughter's hand before it reached her mouth, held her up as her knees buckled, called the ambulance, canceled the party, drove behind the flashing lights in silence while my wife texted someone I didn't know. Her reflection in the windshield was calm, mine was not. The doctor said it fast enough to cut skin, benzodiazepine. My daughter's pupils couldn't focus. Her mouth kept twitching like it wanted to form words but didn't remember how. I sat beside her all night, watching the machines, ignoring my wife. She kept asking if I blamed her. She said the boy probably didn't mean anything, said girls her age exaggerate, said I was overreacting. She never said, I'm sorry, not once. By morning, I'd made 3 calls, one to my lawyer, one to my private investigator, one to a judge who owed me a favor. I wasn't thinking about revenge, not yet. I was thinking about how easily my wife had watched. Not just watched, but condoned it. How long ago had she gone quiet, and how much silence had I mistaken for peace? I moved out that week, told her it was temporary, for space, for clarity. She believed me. She always believed me when I lied calmly. She didn't know I'd had cameras installed in the house 2 months ago. Didn't know I had access to her texts. Didn't know her friend, the one she whispered to, was now feeding me everything. The more I dug, the colder I got. There was no single betrayal. There were hundreds. Texts to men I didn't recognize, photos that weren't meant for me, deleted videos in cloud folders titled twos and thurs. It wasn't about love. It was about leverage. She had been playing me for years. The house was in her name, the accounts were joint. She thought motherhood made her invisible, but it made her patient, and predators are always patient. I stayed quiet. I visited my daughter daily, filed for emergency custody, smiled at my wife like I still believed her. She laughed one night and said, "You're calmer than I thought you'd be." I said, "You're easier to read than I thought you'd be." Then I kissed her forehead and left. The PI handed me the flash drive like it was a weapon. It was. There were messages from the boy's father, the police chief, worried the incident would go public, promising favors to keep it quiet. And there, my wife saying, he won't risk ruining her. He loves that girl more than he loves justice. She was right, but not about which way I'd go. I handed her the folder during breakfast. No warning, just slid it across the counter as she sipped her smoothie. She opened it, flipped through photos of herself in hotel rooms, screenshots of her messages to the chief, records of hush money transferred from her secret account. Her hands shook. She looked up and tried to speak. I just sipped my coffee. Then I said, "You lost her the moment you laughed." I didn't yell, didn't threaten, didn't beg for understanding. I handed her the signed divorce papers, custody agreement, asset division, restraining order against the chief's son. All done, all ready, all waiting for her signature. "You won't get away with this," she whispered. I leaned in. "You got away with it for years. I'm just closing the door behind you." She refused to sign. So I filed it anyway, had the chief disbarred, released the footage anonymously to the press, had full custody by Friday. By Sunday, she was gone. I don't visit the graveyard of who we used to be. No photos, no memories, no apologies. My daughter doesn't remember that night, only that her father was there when no one else was. That's all she needs. That's all I'll ever give. Some people mourn what they lost. I study what I missed. The red flags, the hesitation, the laughter that didn't reach her eyes. Now I pay attention. Now I listen. Because silence isn't safety, it's strategy. And monsters don't growl, they smile. And they toast. And they whisper. She'll learn to keep quiet like I did. No, she won't. Not mine. Never again.